Okay, so g'day everyone. This video is not so much a time video, in so much as it's a bit of a primer for a couple of other videos that I'm going to do a bit later on. And I thought it might be useful to talk through the material, one of the main materials that I use in those videos, or those flies, before I actually get to do the videos. It might make it a bit easier, and you can look in detail on the materials. So this is Self Fusing Silicone Tape. And it's essentially a non-tacky, non-adhesive tape made out of silicone, and it'll fuse to itself. When it comes in contact with itself, it fuses to itself. Now this one, the ones you'll see here with US flags on them, is Tommy tape, T-O-M-Y. These other ones are generic brands that I've just bought off like eBay, I think. But it's the same sort of stuff. And it's also sold as repair tape, self-healing tape, rescue tape, things like this. So if you look around, that's what it is. But in essence, it's a self-fusing silicone tape. And I'll show you how that goes in a minute. But basically, I picked this up, the clear one, and started using it. I thought this is really good. It lets whatever's behind it come through. And for example, so this fly is a little caddis pattern, and it just has a micro glint body with some of this clear self-fusing silicone tape wrapped over the top, and then ribbed with some monofilament. So I'll just hold that steady so you can get a decent view. Other examples are things like these two, just sort of play around beaded nymphs, and these just have glow bright thread underneath it, overwrapped with silicone tape, and some ribbing. Probably, I think the ribbing on this is just monofilament, clear on this one, and then a pink monofilament on this one. So you can get that sort of effect. And then you have other ones that are more opaque and offer different solutions. So this is what it is. So when you see these videos and I talk about using self-fusing silicone tape, then this is the stuff. It comes in a bunch of different colours, black, orange, white, red, yellow, grey, and then the clear, and I think there's a blue one. I don't use it, so I don't have it. Oh, sorry, yeah, yellow. But that's about it. It's not, you're not going to find, I don't think you're really going to find this in earth tones or neutral colours. It's more this sort of colour array. The clear stuff's really good to go over the top of different types of materials. I use it for not only sort of nymph bodies like this, but I also use it for standard sort of pheasant tail type nymphs. You can use it as the body for that. Just ribbing in general, if you like. So it's pretty straightforward to use. How I usually do it is I just cut a length, about 2.5, 3 inches long, depending on how much I want to use, and I place it down with the paper, or not paper, it's the little plastic cover on down, and then lay a steel knife over the top, and then I just trim off usually about 2mm wide strips, or however wide you want to use, so that you end up with a strip of silicone tape like that. Now, depending on which one you get, some of them, like these ones in the Tommy tape, are fairly thin. These are 0.5 in the middle here, and then it tapers down to 0.3mm thick on either side. So when you trim it, your strips off from the side, they'll be really thin and stretchy, and as you get closer to the middle, it thickens up, not quite as stretchy. You still get plenty of stretch, but not quite as stretchy, so it all depends. And then sometimes the generic brands are just straight sizes. They don't even taper at the edge. You can see here, this one's more or less the same sort of thickness all the way across. But anyway, so I trim it off, little 2mm strip, or however wide you want to use. It comes with a little plastic backing, which stops it sticking to itself, and you just got to peel that off. It can be a little bit tricky sometimes, so just bear with me for a second. Hoping I can see this and peel it off. I might try this end. But there we go. Right, so tore it up a bit, but anyway, so you just peel this off and you can get rid of this. And then you're left with a strip. Now, like I said, it's not sticky, so it won't really stick to your fingers or stick to anything. If you lay it down on your desk and you've had dubbing or hair or something, it'll probably pick that up like you would imagine sort of a silicone to do, but it's not going to stick to anything per se. But when you double it over and double it over on itself, and if I do this here, you'll see that it really starts to stick to itself. So after only a second or so, it's already clinged to itself, and if you give it another 20 seconds, it'll be really difficult to pull that apart. So when you're tying with it, you want to be reasonably careful, particularly so that it doesn't cover itself, otherwise you'll come unstuck. But it is stretchy, so this piece is, well, you can see by the length of my fingers, you know, finger length, I guess. And, you know, it'll go easily 2.5, nearly 3 times its length, and probably even more before it even starts to snap. So, you know, you do get plenty of stretch out of it, which means you can use it like nymph skin, or those sorts of materials, and you know, get an overwrap and stretch it and all that sort of business. So anyway, that's so this is what it is: self-fusing silicone tape. I just came across it in the hardware store and thought that'll be interesting to use, and it's turned out to be really quite handy, particularly in a number of different patterns. So that's what it is, and hopefully it gives you a good indication of, we'll let you know how I plan on using that stuff. So, bottom line.